Speaking of the games last week that we picked, we're going to start with the Seahawks beating the Rams 38-37 in overtime. Wow, did this week start off with a bang. Game of the week, dare I say game of the year. This was one of those games where you thought it was over, kind of midway-ish through the fourth quarter, and the Seahawks just found a way, man. I come away with that game thinking the Rams are still the better team, still the team to beat in the NFC. However, man, the Seahawks, they have an iron grip around that number one seed. And honestly, if you're an opposing team, that's probably not what you want. Like, if you think about it, where would you rather travel to? Would you rather go to LA to face the Rams, or would you rather go to Seattle to face the Seahawks? Honestly, I don't think LA is that big of a home field advantage for the Rams. It kind of sucks the Seahawks have the home field advantage. If you know, when I look at it that way, I'd much rather the Rams would have gotten it, but it is what it is. I do think those were the two best teams in the NFC battling it out. I don't come away from the game feeling better about Sam Darnold. However, I think Sam Darnold comes out of the game feeling better about himself. What I mean by that is Sam Darnold still threw an interception, still looked a little lost at times and everything like that, still a little ho-hum, but he beat the Rams, you know, and whenever you can get that win, man, it builds such confidence. Now the Seahawks are not, I don't think they were scared of the Rams period in the first place, but now that you beat them, it's kind of like, all right, bring them on. Now the Rams have kind of lost a couple games here. Like they lost to the Panthers, which, don't quote me on this, I think if the season ended today, the Rams would travel to Carolina to take on those same Panthers. So nothing's safe. It was just an amazing game. That I think it was a 2-point. Was it a 2-point conversion? Was it a touchdown? I think it was a 2-point conversion. I can't remember. But where it was a backwards pass and the wherewithal, you know, it was incomplete or whatever like that. But the wherewithal to go into the end zone to pick up the ball, man. Like I don't think I've ever seen that. And kudos for the referees not blowing the whistle. I don't even know if it would have mattered if they blew the whistle or not. I'm not that privy on the rules. Just the wherewithal to pick up the ball and like he's like, wow, I just scored a 2-point conversion just by picking up a damn ball. Cool. It was pure theater. It was pure theater to watch that game. I really thought it'd be much more low scoring. I don't know where the defenses were in this game, but you know, the first game, it was all about defense. This game, man, offenses came alive. It was pure joy to watch. Now it's not completely over. The Seahawks have the Panthers next. Now I will tell you, don't sleep on the Panthers. Am I predicting the Panthers to beat the Seahawks? No. Would I be shocked? No. So that number one seed is not completely set in stone yet. I do think the Seahawks will end up winning it, but it's not set in stone. And speaking of the NFC South, I do think the Panthers end up winning that division. Now, the Bucs will have a say in it. They do play each other, the Bucs and the Panthers, last week of the season. So that's still up in the air, but I do think the Panthers are going to be the representatives out of that division. And look, they're a weird team to figure out. They lose to bad teams, they beat good teams. It's so weird. They're such a weird team to figure out. But there's a lot of grit on that team. So Seattle, even though they won this game against the Rams, it's not over. Keep an eye on that game. That could be like a sneaky, you know, game that could go against Seattle. I'm not predicting it. I'm predicting the Seahawks to win. But that the one seed still has a gray area to it. Okay. Either way, it was an amazing game to watch. Could not have started this week better. Good God, dude. Puka Nacua, dude. Like 200 and some. What did he have? He had 225 yards and 2 touchdowns on 12 receptions. He got you 46.5 fantasy points. So I'm RIP my fantasy team. Matthew Stafford played well. He was 29-49 for 457 yards and 3 touchdowns. The guy, I know he was in a losing effort, but you got to look at him as the MVP right now. I know there's Josh Allen, there's Drake May. I think it's Matthew Stafford's award to lose. And I think the Rams played better. I mean, it was the only time in NFL history where a team had like close to 600 yards offense, didn't turn the ball over themselves, got 3 turnovers themselves, and still lost the game. That's why I came out of the game thinking like, man, the Rams look like the better team. Not to discredit the Seahawks at all, but the Rams just they looked like the better team in that game and still found a way losing it. It was a wild, wild, wild game out in the wild, wild west. It was weird. So great game.